Welcome to the St. Thomas Project, Devotions for Doubters, brought to you by the Alyosha Society, where we're pursuing truth and beauty and goodness through great literature. That's right. Most of what we do here at the Alyosha Society is indeed focused on works of literature. This being quite different from that, I want to strongly encourage you to check out the first video I did on the St. Thomas Project. Number one is called Preface. And in that video, I give a detailed explanation of the focus of this series. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm addressing folks who are wrestling with doubt, doubting their faith. Also, I've pointed it out several times. I'm going to be wearing green in all the videos in this particular series. It's the liturgical color that points us to hope. It points to growth. May God give you hope, my friends, and grow your faith, no matter where you happen to be in your journey at this point. So, you know the drill. If you've watched any of these videos, we now go to Slideland. Well, why do we go to Slideland? Well, if this happens to be the first of the videos, well, that's from my previous video. Let's go bring up the current one. If you happen to be new, what we do is we go to Slideland, and I show you a cool slide that looks like this: St. Thomas Project, Devotions for Doubters. And then I go to a slide that looks like this. And the whole idea is I give you a passage of scripture to check out before you listen to the rest of the video. So you pause me, read the scripture, and then unpause me. So here you go. This is St. Thomas Project number 6. The Myth of Certainty is our title. Scripture passages. Hebrews 11. You know that one. Hall of Faith. Hebrews 11, 1-6. 2 Corinthians 5:7. And then Romans 1:17. So go ahead and pause me and read those, and unpause me when you're you believed at that time, didn't you? You thought, wait a second, maybe this really is it. I know it's a goofball thing to do, guys. Just bear with me if you don't mind. All right, we finish up in Slideland, and then we go back over to Talkland. The Myth of Certainty. Question: is it possible to hold firmly to a belief and have reservations about it at the same time? Some folks seem to believe that unless you have absolute, unquestioning resolve about an issue, you can't embrace it at all. I am arguing here that we need to avoid such a view for various reasons. So think about it. Is there anything at all that provides us with such absolute certainty? Holding to this view will mean that you will waver on any view on any topic at the moment there is the slightest doubt about it. And I'm not sure that any of us want to go through life with that obsessive level of skepticism. You know, you eventually reach the conclusion that you can't know anything about anything at any time for sure. But hey, you know what? You'll keep the therapists in business, and you know what? They got to eat and feed their kids too. Okay, think about it. We hold firmly to beliefs all the time, beliefs about which we do not have total certainty. You know, when you go to a restaurant, do you have absolute certainty that you're not being poisoned? Do you have firm evidence that the chemical composition of your food includes no toxins? When you get in your car, do you know for sure that the brakes will not fail you as you cruise down the interstate at 70 miles an hour? You know, in these instances, you have reason to believe that all will be well, but you don't really have definitive proof. You're making a potentially life or death choice without complete certainty. You are, in a very real sense, acting on faith. Some other examples. Given the fact that we do not operate with entire certainty regarding anything at all on a daily basis, why would we approach faith in the same manner? Let's talk about our legal system as an example here. Our legal system relies on various types of proofs, to govern how we decide cases. So, for example, in a civil case, we use the expression preponderance of the evidence, meaning that the claim is, quote, more likely than not. Clear and convincing evidence, also in civil cases, meaning that it's substantially more likely than not that the claim is true. Another way to express this standard is that the charge is highly probable. And then the higher standard is referred to as beyond a reasonable doubt. Come on, some of you watch Law and Order, right? You hear these phrases all the time. Yeah, beyond a reasonable doubt, which we hear that in criminal cases, meaning that the evidence must point the jury to conclude that the only logical explanation is that the defendant committed the crime, and there's no other logical explanation that can be derived from the evidence. So this higher legal standard refers to, quote, the highest degree of certainty possible based on the evidence. So listen, bottom line, even in our law courts, we do not require a level of certainty that some folks require for faith claims. But I get it. Some of us are simply not wired in a way that allows us to fully embrace something without total certainty. I get that. Trust me, I get it. So how does the reflective Christian navigate these waters? In a word, mystery. Consider this. What would a God be like that a human could fully understand and know with total certainty? Answer, a human. Yeah, that's right. What makes God God is the wonderful reality that we can't comprehend him. We cannot understand him. We can't pin him down with any degree of certainty. Friends, listen, there is freedom in acknowledging that God is indescribably beyond my severely restricted capacity to comprehend him. Take that one to the bank. It is certain. Just kidding. Takeaways. What are our applications here? Look for evidences that validate the Christian faith. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not opposing that in this devotional. Do the apologetics, check out the historicity of the gospel, and then embrace it, along with all of its nebulousness, with all of its wonder, with all of its glorious mystery. Also, you may benefit from a book I read many, many years ago. It was actually, I should measure it more in decades to tell you how long I've been thinking about this particular issue. The book is called, you guessed it, The Myth of Certainty by Daniel Taylor. Check it out. May be a blessing to you.